so I know at this point I should just stop watching Chris Stuckmann reviews. But my curiosity sometimes gets the best of me. Since his infamous "I'm gonna distance myself from film criticism" video, or his non-review of Madam Web, and since then he's somehow found a way to go lower and lower, like promoting BetterHelp, gambling, and loan shark apps. And that's on top of his reviews that feel like straight up obligations at this point, that he only does so he can fund his next shitty film. But anyway, obviously I don't watch all his reviews, just the ones that look interesting. And lo and behold, he reviewed The Bride, which is getting absolutely roasted by most critics I've seen, as well as being a box office bomb. Now Chris is famous for only reviewing films he recommends, and will tend not to review films like The Bride. And if you look at the comments on his video, a lot of the commenters are pointing this out.
Oh, this shit is funny. You like this movie?
And it would be one thing if Chris genuinely liked the film, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels as if he has to talk himself into liking the film as he's doing the review.
It's really, really interesting, and it's quite bonkers, very, very original, hilarious at times. Christian Bale does some dancing along with Jessie Buckley, who is quite good in the movie. She randomly will blurt out very heightened vocabulary that rhymes. It's a very, very interesting.
It's interesting.
Interesting!
A legal word.
Dad, Keeler said interesting!
Interesting is a non-word. You know you're supposed to avoid it. Be specific.
It feels like when someone you know is in a play or gives a speech, and when they ask how they did, you have to grit your teeth to get out a compliment. But if I had to guess his motives on why he reviewed a shitty film like The Bride, I think it's possibly due to the fact that he feels like he has to. Because it was directed by a woman and has feminist themes. So basically he has to agree with the message, or that means he isn't an ally. Or possibly because of his connections. It would look bad if he didn't review a high profile film. Which is funny because despite him still making reviews like this, where you can feel zero passion or heart, and basically doing just enough to make a video, and it not be considered a negative review, he won't do that for Iron Lung, which considering it's a success and a win for independent creators, he can't muster up the will to review that. Is that because he genuinely didn't like that film? Or is it because he's both a combination of jealous and pissed that Mark did what he couldn't, or hasn't seen it? Which is even weirder considering it should be an inspiration for Chris. In any case, if that's all his review was, I don't think that would be enough for me to make a video, because Chris having bad taste or being a sellout is basically his bread and butter at this point. Now the main reason I wanted to make this video is because there's a sentiment that people like Chris and other critics and people in the film YouTube essay space that love to spread that I fucking hate, which that is you should support a bold, risky, or original movie, which Chris is saying you should do for this movie, and he's done it a lot in the past, like with Mickey 17, not only because it's original, but because you should support an accomplished director.
My fear is that this film will become yet another reason for Hollywood executives to be like, see, that's why we don't do anything weird, and that's why we don't hire that many women to direct films. That is my biggest concern. Because when I watched this movie, I thought to myself, this feels like the type of thing that we're often asking for. But I just respected Gyllenhaal's vision for this to such an extent where I had to sit back and be like, this kind of is what we're always asking Hollywood to do, and we're just not showing up for it. I'm not saying this is a perfect movie. There's definitely things about it that didn't quite work, but it's obviously a really bold swing. And I feel like we're always asking for that. And here it is. And we're not going. It's so easy to go and watch movies that don't take a swing, that aren't trying to be bold, that aren't trying to do anything new with the structure or the edit or anything. And we just go and watch our conveyor belt movies that feel like a committee made them, and they're very satisfying and everybody claps and we all walk out of the theater happy. But a film like this feels like it's trying very hard to go against all of those things, and it's doing it with a lot of money, and that's a massive risk, and I respect the hell out of that. So if you are the type of person that does often go out there and preach that you want to see Hollywood do new and different things with big budgets, but you're also not going to see films that maybe aren't perfect, but like are trying to do new things with big budgets, you kind of have to go put your money where your mouth is and support a film like this and at least give it a shot. You may not love it.
Fuck all that.
Now getting beyond the irony of Chris saying you should support original films, considering his first film was incredibly unoriginal, as well as this short, This idea that I should support something based on anything other than quality is bullshit. My criteria for what I'm willing to leave my house, travel and spend on a ticket is quality, and does the premise intrigue me? I would say purely on quality, but there's some films that no matter how good I hear it is, I'm just not interested in seeing. Like some musicals or chick flicks or dour or stuffy Oscar bait, and most people are like this too. Some genres or certain types of film just aren't their bag, like biopics or ultra-violent films. Now sometimes I will take a risk on a movie, but that's on me. I wouldn't tell others to see a film based on the fact that it's an original vision, or from a visionary or accomplished director, because you know what I just described? I described Amelia Perez, or Megalopolis, or Tenet. Now I could also be describing Enter the Void, or Tree of Life, or Midsummer. Of course those films are divisive, but have some merit, even if they're not my cup of tea. But again, if I'm a critic, even if I like the film, I'm not going to try to guilt the audience that if you don't support certain films, that'll intimate that you're a bad movie fan, or you're the reason cinema is dying, or originality is dying. Sorry, but fuck you. No, the audience has zero obligation to support anything other than what they want to see. And if they don't support the movie, either the movie sucks or they didn't market it well enough. And it'd be one thing if this is the first time Chris pulled this shit, but he's done it before. And I think it's just silly, as well as a waste of time. No matter how big you are, you can't make an entire audience excited for something based solely on your word. The wave already has to be big enough to do so. It has to be organic, and the movie has to warrant it. And sorry, but The Bride, from what I've seen, is not that film.
I've been through this before. It is terrible. Go. Get out of here. Go home.